Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to Macabre'Gorium Labs presents School of Boredom, a showcase of things likely forgotten. My name is Bats, and I'll be your guide today as we explore Lesson 110, ALF, the lesson has landed. Back in the 1980s, most television shows were sitcoms. They were easy to identify, usually contained within a 30-minute time slot in which they could solve that episode's problem, with a new problem being introduced in the next episode. Today we'll be taking a look at an amazing sitcom that ran from September 22nd, 1986 until March 24th, 1990. It featured a fun-loving, furry alien that crashed into our homes and into our hearts. I, of course, am talking about the one and only Gordon Shumway, or better known as ALF. There's a movie, 2 cartoons, and a TV sitcom version of ALF. This lesson is all about the sitcom television show. ALF was created by Paul Fusco and Tom Patchett. It had 4 seasons consisting of 102 episodes and 3 one-hour episodes that were broken into 30-minute 2-part episodes. ALF was produced by Alien Productions and distributed by Lorimar Telepictures and then Warner Brothers. Gordon Shumway, or ALF as he came to be known, was born on October 28, 1758 to Bob and Flo Shumway. He also has a younger brother, Curtis Shumway, and a younger sister, Augie Shumway. Unlike other Alien shows, ALF didn't have any special powers and isn't really that advanced. ALF itself is about an alien from the planet Melmac and an Earth family called the Tanners who live in the San Fernando Valley area of California. The alien, Gordon, had been following an amateur radio signal that was coming from Earth and ends up crashing into the garage of the Tanner family, the source of the signal. And it's at this point in the video where we get to the meat and potatoes, because the Tanner family consists of the father Willie, played by Max Wright, the mother Kate, played by Anne Shadeen, the daughter Lynn, played by Andrea Elson, the son, played by Benji Gregory, and their Maine Coon cat Lucky, who was played mostly by a cat named Sparks. Willie Tanner works as a social worker, so he's used to helping people out and wants to help out Gordon. So after much discussion, the Tanners decide to let Gordon stay with them to avoid the alien task force and their neighbors, the Achmonics, while he fixes his ship.
Now, the Alien Task Force is the department of the military that deals with aliens.
Willie nicknamed Gordon ALF, meaning alien life form. Why he couldn't be called Gordon, we have no idea, but that's part of this show's charm. In the very first episode, we find out that the planet Melmac was actually destroyed by nuclear war, which leaves ALF homeless. ALF only survived as he was on the Melmac orbit guard out on patrol when Melmac was destroyed. When ALF gets to Earth, he finds out that Earth is also developing nuclear weapons. ALF is terrified that the Earth might suffer the same fate as Melmac, so he immediately tries to tell the President of the United States to stop the nuclear program. This, of course, does not go well, as ALF is misunderstood with what he says since he just landed and doesn't know Earth's customs. This misunderstanding causes the President and National Security to think the message is a huge threat, and the FBI tracks down and arrests Willie. Apparently, ALF had used Willie's radio, which made the FBI think Willie sent the message. As the series progresses, ALF tries to adapt to living on Earth with the Tanners, although it is suggested that he wants to eat Lucky, at least at first. One of the problems that ALF faces is that on Melmac, cats are a common protein, kinda like how humans use chickens or cows, and there is a run-on joke about this throughout the series. With Willie constantly telling ALF he can't eat the cat, it does make for some funny hijinks all around. Never fear though, because after some time, ALF becomes an actual member of the Tanners family and grows to love each and every one of them, including Lucky. As you can imagine, living with the Tanners creates all sorts of problems for the family. They have to constantly hide ALF from the neighbors, friends, and outside family while also worrying about what would happen to them if the family got caught. This series shows how Alf deals with survivor's guilt, boredom, and loneliness, because Alf believes himself to be the last Melmacian.
Although in Season 1, Episode 7, Help Me Rhonda, we do find that Skip, Alf's friend, also survived.
In the Help Me Rhonda episode, Willie sees that Alf is depressed and homesick for Melmac, so he decides to try and get in touch with any of Alf's people. Willie does manage to get in contact with Alf's best friends, Skip and Rhonda, who somehow survived as well. By the end of the episode, Skip and Rhonda try to persuade Alf to come with them to start a new Melmacian colony. However, he does not want to leave the Tanners. Alf was definitely a comedy, but did manage to add some actual space exploration concepts, such as on the solar system Alf helps Brian with, and using a radio signal as a beacon.
Alf lets Brian and his class know about 2 planets beyond Pluto, called Dave and Alvin. This ultimately causes Brian to get in trouble at school.
As the show continued, the Tanners come to love Alf, and he loves them too, as he becomes a permanent part of their family, even with the problems that come with Alf living with them, such as the Tanners being constantly fearful of someone finding out that they live with an alien. They're willing to help and protect him. After all, he is family. With Alf being stuck on Earth, he can only hide in the attic for so long before he begins to make friends outside the family. So, throughout the series, Alf becomes friends with Willie's brother Neil, Kate's mother Dorothy, Dorothy's boyfriend Whizzer, the Achmonic's nephew Jake, a psychologist named Larry, and a blind woman named Jody. Another change to the show was that the Tanners had a new child, Eric, who would be played by twins Charles and J.R. Nickerson.
This child was only added as the actress that played Kate was pregnant in real life.
With the addition of Eric to the family, Alf moves from the laundry room up into the attic, which they make into an apartment just for him. Alf is super excited about Eric and wants to be allowed to babysit him when the Tanners are at work, because Kate needs to go back to her real estate career after the birth. Alf decides he needs to hone his babysitting skills, and he does so by watching Charles in charge. To his credit, Alf takes care of Eric perfectly, changing diapers, feeding, and burping him, but then he misplaces him. Of course, it all ends up being a misunderstanding, and Eric was with Lynn all along. As with all good shows, a decision had to be made after 4 seasons. End the show or keep it going? Unfortunately, eventually it was determined that the show would be canceled due to several reasons. One big reason was the storylines couldn't keep being rehashed over and over. Even with the addition of people Alf befriends throughout the series, there was still a limited number of situations. The other issue was that although fans loved all of Alf's antics, the human actors were less than happy working on the show at all by the time it ended. One issue for the actors was that Alf was not played by an actual human, but was in fact a large puppet. Due to the size of the puppet and the operator needed to work it, filming was very complicated. One actor has shared that a 30-minute episode could take as long as 25 hours to shoot, with the set being hot and miserable. Believe me when I say we here at the labs totally understand that.
It was also a technical nightmare, slow, hot, and tedious.
Said Anne Sheeden, the actress that played Kate Tanner. Unfortunately, by the time it was canceled in 1990, most of the actors were really glad to see its end. The cancellation is also why the series finale ended on a cliffhanger.
Shameless plug!
Hey everybody, if you're enjoying the video, please click like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can see all of our weird, creepy, odd, strange, or eccentric content as soon as we get it out to you. Now without further ado, back to your video.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
The last episode of this sitcom shows Alf being taken to an undisclosed location by government agents. Fans were extremely let down and mad that there was no good ending. However, since fans were so upset about the ending, they decided to make a TV movie called Project Alf that came out in 1996, which would wind up resolving part of the cliffhanger. I'm not going to go into Project Alf in this School of Boredom, but I will let you know that Alf does get away. Check it out for yourselves, especially if you're a fan of Alf, although we will probably have an upcoming School of Boredom Quickie about it. And with that, we've come to the end of this School of Boredom lesson. My name is Bats, and I've been your guide today for lesson 110. ALF, the lesson has landed. Be sure to check back next time, even if we don't know what we have in store. And as usual, think for yourselves, be excellent to each other, and keep it creepy. Hey, thanks for checking out our video. If you enjoyed this one and would like to see more of our weird, creepy, odd, eccentric, or strange content as soon as it comes out, please feel free to click like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more. We'll see you later. Keep it creepy.